Leadership as a responsibility inheritance, an ability to recognize responsibility and willingness to accept it represents the hallmark of leadership. This statement was made by Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Honorable Babatunde Raji Fashola, at the QHSCS Leadership Reboot 02 to commemorate the marking of Independence Day held at Avila Ife Center, Victoria Island, Lagos.
The leadership in itself has responsibility inherent in it. So, leadership has responsibility inherent in it. And seems to me that the ability to recognize responsibility and the willingness to accept it represents the hallmark of leadership.
Honorable Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola reiterated the need for leadership to be more emphatic and accessible to their followers.
In our home, all of us have different roles, but there are some people who worry about whether everybody is safe and secure every day in our homes. There are people who worry whether the doors have been locked and the windows have been locked. There are people who worry whether everybody has eaten. The person who does that is the one who recognizes and accepts these responsibilities. That, for me, is the leader.
Pastor Ituan Ighodalo, a renowned social reformer and author, while delivering his speech at the QHSCS Leadership Reboot 02, he left no stone unturned in exploring the possibility of good leadership.
A responsible leader is one who reunites the idea of effectiveness with the idea of corporate responsibility by being an active citizen and promoting active civic citizenship inside and outside the organization. Active citizen inside the organization and active citizenship outside the organization. This is the definition of a responsible leader, and motivates the employees towards organizational leadership, getting a sense of ownership in the entire business.
The convener of the event, Engineer Jami Badmos, also sheds more light on the attribute of leadership.
All, anywhere we are, have empathy, and you lead with empathy. You will see that a lot of organizations, a lot of societies that we are seeing today will not be where we are. We have moved past that level. On October 4th, the new baby came, and that new baby is QHSCS. The responsible leadership that will make people to be able to stay. The truth of the matter is that in every organization, in every country, in every society, sustainability is the way to go, which hinges itself on 3 P's. The first P is the people. People must be motivated. People must be happy. They must have good well-being. It is when people have good well-being that I can be talking about the last P, profit. If people are not feeling happy, that profit, you are not going to get it. The same thing goes to P, second P, planet. You see, our environment is so important that if we manage the environment very well, we all live longer than what we are witnessing now. But people take environment for granted. You see people, they put waste on the floor, they burn waste, and all this leads to climate change eventually. And if you look at those that block all the drains, when rain falls, the rains come back to them and turn to flood. They are the main cause of the problem, because they dump refuse at drainages, because some even build estates without drainage, and now say you have flooding. You must respect the environment, because sustainability is meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the needs for the future generation. So before you talk about the P, the last P, profit, it is the people that make it to have profit. And I gave example there, leading with empathy. If you lead with empathy, you are going to see a lot of your staff will become more productive, they will become more motivated, they are inspired by your leadership, and they will do the right thing, and you are going to eat that profit you are talking about. And I give example of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world today. I don't know tomorrow, but for today, in his company Tesla, when accident was happening in Tesla, what did Elon do? He called all the management team and said, let's go to the shop floor, let's go to the plant and see why accident is happening. And before you know it, he was able to feel it and change all the assembly plans and systems, and accident reduced. In our leaders have empathy. They put themselves at the shoes where the poor people are and know what people are feeling, based on SDG goals 1, SDG 2, that says no to poverty, zero hunger. If people do that and note what people are facing and say give people good health based on SDG number 3, you will see that every one of us in the country, at least higher percentage, will be happy. And we say yes, we have leaders. But we in this leadership reboot will talk more and will center more not on political leadership. We base all our argument and talks on corporate leadership. Because if corporate leadership is okay, because if leadership in the family is good, it will transcend into changing the leadership of that society. And that is why we have QHSCS Leadership Network.
Responsible leadership is all that we need right now, where everybody needs to take actions. Responsible leadership means you have something to do and you have to do it. The Nigeria's story today is because a lot of us left our responsibilities for others to do. If you do not do what you're supposed to do, then you stop being a leader. Indeed, all of us have leadership inside of us. So whatever you have been given to do means you are a leader that can do that. But when you refuse to do it, then you are not being responsible. And I think Nigeria can become the greatest country that we want if all of us start becoming responsible today.
Now, being a responsible leader takes a lot of things. It takes different aspects of our work life, our day-to-day job, and all the rest. But it's very important that the gathering that we're doing here today is to re-emphasize the need of how to be responsible. Yeah, because in this present Nigeria, we need responsible people. So this program here is to remind people, whether at work, whether you're with the ministry, or whether you're a young leader like myself, is to take the mantle and be a responsible leader.
Come on, fiesta forever. Come on, let's sing this song. We're going to party. Hey, hey, fiesta, hey, hey. Come on, let's sing all love. We go all night long. Hey, all night long. Already, 1, 2, let's go. Make you make us see people are really dancing. You don't want to miss the fun. Yeah!
The other key speakers on panel of discussion laid more emphasis on the roles of employees and employers.
Leadership, in summary, is your skill or tools, your power of influence. And so how you can make leadership better is to fully utilize the influence that you have positively as a leader. First of all, internalize that influence. You have to, first of all, encourage yourself positively before you begin to encourage somebody else. Once you do that as a leader, it's very easy for you to motivate people and influence them accordingly. Know what their strengths, their weaknesses are, what makes them happy, what makes them sad, and then you use that to influence them to make decisions that are beneficial to everybody.
Yes, and to achieve business objectives, whether we're thinking nation or we're thinking organization, and then even to achieve individual objectives, it's all about people. So key takeaways from the session today is that we are all leaders. We lead the nation, those that are in government. We lead organizations, those that are leaders in different companies. And please, I want to also remind us that leadership in companies is not just the executives at the top. The executives are leaders, senior managers, middle managers, even supervisors and team leads are leaders. And then all staff are leaders of self. So we've taken that away, learned that there's leadership within all of us, and we can all be impactful leaders.
I think leaders who see their employees as stakeholders and support those who create the most value for the business are most likely to see improved results. And this is something that you see consistently. But at the same time, they understand the impact and the importance of their action on delivering the bottom line. And them knowing that the bottom line, if it's not achieved, then it's difficult to be able to create an environment or to be able to add the value that they seek.
Some dignitaries were also awarded for their wonderful performances in their selfless services to their humanities and in their various communities.
Forever. Come on, let's sing this song. We're going to party. Hey, hey, hey.
answer is right here.
QHSES Leadership Reboot 2022, raising thought leaders to make lasting impact. In Lagos, Yusuf Abdulmuiz, Media Smith Production News.